Story time, part 6, Evil X. Here we go. Alright, so in part 5, I left out a couple things. Now, in between time, we're having a bunch of fights back and forth, like this woman is a criminal, so she likes doing evil, off the wall stuff. So at this point, I had a little scheme going on that my brother from another mother put me on. I'm not going to put his name in here. I would go to Walmart with a handful of bags, and I would fill up my cart like I was doing groceries, and then I would go tire section, fill up all the bags with the groceries. I'd grab an old receipt and I'd walk out the front door. Now, my house was flooded with food. The whole house was furnished and everything off Walmart. God forgive me, nothing paid for. Then I found out that I could do 3 returns off each ID with no receipt. So I would have guys go in there, take a bunch of stuff, bring it to me. It had to be at least $50 worth. So I would go do the returns, 3 of them off each ID. We'd get gift cards. So I had stacks of gift cards. I was selling them to pawn shops for $100. It was a whole big scam that I had going on just to survive and make this woman happy. At the time, I was living in Orlando. I was doing all the things I was doing in Broward because I was new out there. So I had to do whatever I had to do to get money. She was an expensive woman. She liked Ed Hardy and Coach. Those are her main things. So, also, what I forgot to say was I was getting into a couple fights out there, a couple of riffraffs out there just with people, just because of her mouth and how she acted. We went to a club one time, and this girl we got into a VIP that she snuck into, so we snuck in with her, and then we find out that right behind that is another part of the club that's closed down, and there's a bar. She tells me and my homeboy, yo, listen, I'll watch out. Why don't y'all go back there and take all the top shelf? So me and him, drunk, what do? Fuck the top shelf. We take all the bottles. Load up the car, had her park the car right by the stairs, took all the bottles, made a train, loaded up the car, filled it up, boom. Now I got a full bar, full loaded, full of food. My homeboy's there, he cooks, he's like a chef. He's cooking, and it's just us 3 at the place right there. Also, we ended up bringing another one of our friends later on. So I'm on the bus trip back to Broward. I get back to Broward. Me and her are having a big argument on the phone because I'm like, yo, all this is happening because of you and how you're acting. I was like, we can't have a life together the way you're acting. She proceeds to tell me that she is carrying. And I'm like, wow, here we go. All this is going on and you're carrying. Cool. Come down to Broward. Let's figure it out. I have this going on out there. I'm not going back right now. So now we're in Broward. She comes out there. She meets up with me. And we go take the test. She is. We go to the doctor visit. She is. So as all that's going on, she's still popping school buses. She's still drinking. She's still doing normal things. And I'm telling her, like, aren't you pregnant? What are you doing? I'm young at the time. I really don't want to have a kid with her. So I'm not trying to get too in depth with her. So we're in Broward. Now this is my stomping grounds. Now I'm out there doing my thing. Get my money up. She's out there. She's trying to beg me to go back. She's telling me, like, yeah, they had an investigation, but nothing came about it, just that and the third. Okay. So, next thing I know, we were doing, a matter of fact, I was on my way to go pick up a friend of mine, and we both had to take care of people. So, as I'm going to pick him up, I'm on the phone with this guy that I know from Broward. through her, of course. And me and him are going back and forth on the phone. And he's telling me how he has a pew pew. And when he sees me, it's on. Next time he sees me, you'll see. So I'm like, forget next time you see me, where you at? I'll go there now. He said, nah, next time I see you, it's on. I said, all right, no problem. So my boy, I pick him up and I'm telling him what's happening. He's like, wow, that's crazy. He's like, yo, we get down there, it's what it is. So I take him to his person first. When I pull up, as I'm pulling up, the parking lot, when you pull in, there's a big tree. So where he was parked at, he couldn't see me. So I look and I see him. I'm in my Infiniti. I look over to my homeboy. I said, go, hurry up, get your money. I said, because that's the dude that I was telling you about. He's like, nah, I don't. I said, listen, I'm going to let you get your money, but it's going down. So he's like, all right, cool. So I back into the parking spot. I have her jump into the driver's seat. He goes, I see him get his money. I see him trying to talk to the dude and tell him, like, yo, why'd you mess up with my homeboy? Before he could even get out that, I'm already on my way. Boom. He has the window down. Get him. Bow. He puts the window up. At this time, he has a stick shift car. So he's trying to get it into gear to get out of there, but it's jumping. It's revving, jumping. And it cuts off, and now he's trying to start it up again. His window's up, so I run around to his friend's side, and I start getting off on his friend. Bam, 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 bam. He finally gets it going. He gets up a little, and he starts reaching under his seat, and he said, you know what I got under here? I told you. He said, it's over with. I said, what, you think I'm scared? I'm supposed to be scared of that? So, boom, I go running towards the car. This dude goes to take off, does not see that there's a curb. He's in a Mitsubishi Galant. If you guys know these cars from back in the days, in like 07, 08 area, ever, those cars are small. He jumps the curb, damn near tears up his car, gets out of there. Calls me, tells me on the phone. He's like, yo, you caught me off guard. Next time I see you, it's on. I said, all right, no problem. I said, no problem. I tell him the city we live in is small. I'll see you again. So she's like, see, that's my man, that's my husband. That's how he gets down. He don't play about me. Da 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 da. I'm like, man, this has nothing to do with you. Yeah, you got me in a situation. This is about my respect. I ain't got just hush. So I'm hanging out with my friend that I picked up, and he's like, yo, that's crazy. I can't believe that was the dude. He's like, I can't believe you just ran up and just went. You didn't ask no questions. I was like, yeah, but bro, why are you trying to talk to him about it? If I told you what it was, you should have just grabbed your money and got to the car. He's like, yeah, but I messed with the dude, so I was trying to see if I could smooth it over. I said, I was trying to tell you there is no smoothing it over. It's on. He said, on top of that, he's reaching under his seat like he got something. And he said, well, next time he sees me, he's gonna do something to me. He's like, man, you know how he is. He's all mouth. So whatever. Now at this time, it's like 7:30. It's night. It's getting nighttime. It's like dusk, and I need gas. So I'm driving. I see this gas station. The lights are off, but the pump lights are on, and I have a card. So I'm like, maybe I could pay with card. As I'm pulling in, this isn't God, because God does nothing but good things. But this is just such a coincidence. As I'm pulling in, he's parked up, car off, on a bunch of school buses, sleeping, him and his friend in the car. So I pull in. I see that the store's closed. All the lights are off. I bust a U-turn. And I know this complex, so I park where there's no cameras. Tell her, get in the car. He's like, Chris, chill. I said, nah, forget that. I was so angry at the time. I'm not noticing his car had tints. But me, I was so mad at the time. I couldn't see which side he was on. I know he was driving before, but I didn't know if maybe they switched. So when I looked in, I saw the passenger side, and it looked like him. I was so mad. God strike me dead if I'm lying. I punched right through the window and broke it. First hit. tinted. Woke him up. Swung again. Popped the friend. He goes to drive off. I kick the little small window in the back. Kick that out. Boom. He drives off. I hop in the car. We drive off. There's a gas station probably like 2 lights up. We get there. I see I'm bleeding in my hand. I go straight to the bathroom. I wash off my hand. I wrap it up in my shirt. I tell her to grab me a little soda from the fountain. She grabs me one. I wrap up my hand. Boom. I say, yo, we got to go. We got to get back to Orlando. Now, I know I'm hot in Orlando, but right now I'm even hotter there. So that night, we didn't say nothing. We just drove straight to Orlando. The friend I was with, he was like, I ain't got nothing to do. He came with us. Now, on the ride there, my mother calls me. And my mother's on the phone. And I'm like, what's up, Mom? She's like, there's like 5 detectives out here, and they're saying that you shot up a car today. Excuse me. I was like, I had nothing to do with shooting up a car today. I'm in Orlando. She's like, that's what I'm trying to tell them. So she's like, hold on. The detective gets on the phone, and the detective goes, you know, this guy and this guy, which were the guys' names. I'm like, yeah, I know. And he's like, well, they say that when the gas station was closed, you guys had an incident earlier that day, and you hit both of them. And when the gas station was closed, you ended up breaking their window by shooting it and pistol whipping the front, and then they drove off and you shot the back little window out. I was like, let me ask you a question. If that happened, is there shells? Because there's got to be shells. He said, no, there's no shells. I said, okay. I said, another question. I said, does it look like he was pistol whipped, or does it look like he was hit? He's like, it does look like he was punched. I do see knuckles. I said, okay. He's like, so where can we meet to have this conversation? I said, I'm not meeting with you because I already know what's going to happen. If we meet, I'm going to jail. He goes, no. We're just going to have a conversation. I said, check me out. I have a lawyer. This is my lawyer's name. If you would like, go talk to him. He goes, oh, so in my notes right now, you want me to put not cooperative, says talk to my lawyer? I said, honestly, you can put whatever you want. I said, but until my lawyer gets around, I'm not talking. So my lawyer was Gerald Kaczynski. I hired him right away. He's from Broward, but he handles cases in Orlando. Meanwhile, I'm on my way to Orlando. And my girl's father, he goes and he meets up with him, pays him. Dude's a thug. He was in the mob, Gambino family. This guy took care of it immediately before I even was able to pay him. He said, don't worry about it. I know you're good for it. Paid it. So now I got a lawyer, and the lawyer is telling me, yo, next week I'm going to go up to Orlando to handle a case. I want to meet up with you. So meanwhile, this guy has a big homie. His big homie was somebody I used to, do business with. A dude I know. Cool. Real cool. So, his name is Uppy. That's what we're going to call him in this. So, I'm get done with the conversation with the detective. I call him immediately. I'm like, yo. He's like, what's going on, bro? I hear you over here, pressing my young man. Like, kind of trying to check me in a way. And I'm like, that's funny. I'm like, he talking about, taking it to the pew-pew stage. But next thing I know, I thought we all gangster. I thought we keep it in the street. Next thing I know, I got detectives calling me. This man had detectives at my mom's house, going through my mom's house, talking about that I shot up the man's car. And it had nothing to do with guns. It was straight hands. I said, but that's your little man's. I said, so that's what we raising? That's the little man you raising? I said, because I know you a straight street dude. He was like, nah. Let me call you back, because that definitely ain't happening. So, come to find out, told this dude a whole totally different story. Dude calls me back, and he goes, yo, here goes 2 things. 1, I apologize for coming at you. He said he kept the straight gangster. He's like, this dude really fouled up, and he's leaving the state. I don't know what he did, but he had the dude move back to Portugal until the trial was over. He was like, and two, he was like, he will not testify against you no matter what. So boom, I got that, and I know that. So peep that when I go to see my lawyer. So that happens. Boom, we're in Orlando now in an Airbnb because we're in a whole totally different spot because of what happened. So we're hanging out there. We in a nice house, got a pool. We in the pool and we in the jacuzzi, do our thing. And then she's like, you got to meet up with the lawyer tomorrow. I'm like, all right, boom. We go to this fancy mall out there in Orlando. I let her go to Coach. I go meet up with the lawyer. The lawyer's telling me, yo, if he testifies, it's bad. I said, I can guarantee you he's not testifying. He goes, how can you guarantee me that? I said, don't matter, but he won't be there. He goes, well, if he won't be there, we got this. I said, then we got this. Perfect. He was like, you got court next month, 16th. I said, no problem, I'll be there. So, boom. He's like, I'm like, do I owe you a balance? He's like, no, I'm paid off. I said, all right, I'll see you. I go back. I tell Shorty what it is. I'm like, on the 16th, I should be straight. She's like, all right, cool. Buy her a bag. We leave. Now, as we're out there, she's going to school. She ends up meeting a homegirl out there. And she goes, I get bought off her one time. The next time she's like, oh, she didn't feel comfortable. I'm going to go out there. This girl took like 6 hours. Comes back. Like they went out to the club drunk. Brings me back a zip. I ain't going to lie. Pressure. Thinking I'm going to be happy. Yo, where the fuck was you that you've been gone 6 hours and you drunk? Yo, this girl has the nerve to pick up a big-ass butcher knife. Them big-ass butcher knives. And runs at me full speed. Now, we like 12 feet apart. She's running at me full speed with the butcher knife back. And this bitch is crazy. She will stab me. Yo, when she gets close enough, first time in my life, God strike me dead if I'm lying, I hit her. Boom, full force. Knock her out, clean. She falls, knife goes flying. I grab the knife, boom. I'm not noticing she's knocked out. I grabbed her, and I'm like, yo, you ever come to stab me again, I'm telling you, I'll end it. I'll end it. I'm telling you, I'll end it. And I noticed that she's knocked out. So I put a pillow under her head, and I just leave her there. And I go to the room, mad as hell. I take all the knives, and I hide them. Now, she wakes up, I guess, comes to, gets some water, comes to the room, and apologizes. She said, I just blacked out. I said, blacked out? I said, yo, if I wouldn't have did what I did, I'd be dead right now. I said, but you wasn't thinking about that. I said, but it's cool. I said, it's cool. It's all good. I said, I got court on the 16th. On the 16th, I'm going back to Broward. I said, so we got to go back to Broward. She's like, all right. So now, that's the end of this story time. This is a juicy one. It gets better. And what I'm telling you, when I end with her, it gets worse. I'm talking about sends people at me to, I'm talking about fights. I'm talking about all type of stuff. Stole everything. We'll get there. Stay in and we'll get there. It gets juicy. Story time part 6 is done. Out. Boss moves.